He texted you last night, just a casual, "Hey, how are you?" And now you're lying in bed at 3 a.m., wondering if responding makes you weak, or if ignoring him makes you petty. If you've ever tortured yourself over whether you can or should be friends with your ex, we need to talk. Today I'm answering the question I get asked more than any other as a heartbreak coach. Can I be friends with my ex? And more specifically, can you be friends with your ex when you're still heartbroken, when you still have feelings, when you're the one who wanted to stay together, when every time you see their name pop up on your phone, your stomach drops and your hands start shaking? Because let's be honest, that's the real question you're asking. Here's what everyone tells you. Of course you can be friends. Mature adults stay friends with their exes. If you can't be friends, it means you never really loved them. Not being friends makes things awkward for everyone else. Being friends proves you're over it and totally fine. The conventional wisdom says that cutting an ex out of your life is dramatic, immature, and petty. That if the breakup was amicable, staying friends is not only possible, it's the right thing to do. That refusing friendship means you're bitter, can't let go, or are making things harder than they need to be. Social media definitely reinforces this. We see celebrities staying friends with their exes, attending each other's weddings, co-parenting beautifully. We see those posts that say we're better as friends with smiling photos that make breakups look like easy, mutual, evolved decisions. But here's what I've learned coaching hundreds of women through heartbreak. Staying friends with your ex when you're still in love with them isn't mature, it's self-torture. And I'm not talking about co-parents who need to communicate. I'm not talking about truly amicable splits where both people have genuinely moved on. I'm talking about you, right now, reading texts from your ex and analyzing every word for hidden meaning, seeing their Instagram stories and feeling that familiar ache, saying yes to coffee as friends while secretly hoping they'll realize they made a mistake. That's not friendship, that's prolonged heartbreak with a polite label on it. And the tough love I'm about to give you, it's because I'm fighting for you even if you won't fight for yourself yet. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common excuses my clients give me for staying friends with their exes while they're still heartbroken, and I'm going to tell you exactly why each excuse is keeping you stuck. We're covering, but they're a good person. I'm not mad at them. If I show them how great I am as a friend, they'll come back. I don't want them to think I care, but we share the same friends. They're going through a hard time. They need me. And then I'm going to show you what actual healing looks like when you choose yourself first. How do I know this works? Because I've been there. Multiple gut-wrenching heartbreaks taught me this the hard way. And because I've coached hundreds of women who within weeks of implementing no contact, tell me, I can finally breathe again. I didn't realize how much energy it was taking to pretend I was fine. I've never experienced greater emotional pain than heartbreak. It's physically debilitating, mentally exhausting, and staying friends with someone who broke your heart, that's like trying to heal a broken leg while someone keeps hitting it with a hammer and calling it staying connected. So if you're currently texting your ex as friends while crying in your car afterward, stay with me. This might be the permission you've been waiting for to finally put yourself first. Let's start with why we even want to stay friends in the first place. Before we dive into the excuses, I need you to understand something. Wanting to stay friends with your ex is completely normal. I'm not here to shame you for it. I'm not going to call you weak or pathetic or desperate, because I get it. I really do. Think about it. This person was your person. They knew your coffee order, your weird sense of humor, your family drama, your dreams. They were the first person you wanted to text when something good happened. And now they're just gone. That doesn't make sense to your brain or your heart. So when they offer friendship, or when you suggest it, it feels like a lifeline, a way to keep them in your life without losing them completely. A compromise that's better than nothing. Right? Wrong. But I understand why it feels right. Because the alternative, cutting them out completely, feels impossible. It feels cruel. It feels like admitting it's really over. And here's what I see with almost every client who's trying to be friends with an ex. They're not over. There's hope underneath. Maybe you're not consciously thinking, if I stay friends, they'll come back. But somewhere deep down, there's this little voice whispering, if I'm still in their life, if they see how amazing I am, if we stay connected, if enough time passes, maybe they'll realize they made a mistake. And every text, every coffee date, every casual hang, it feeds that hope. Even when they talk about other people they're dating, even when they clearly see you as just a friend, even when it hurts like hell, you stay, because hope is addictive. But here's what that friendships actually looks like. You're putting on a game face, pretending you're fine, acting casual when inside, you're screaming. They tell you about their day, and you want to tell them you miss them. They mention someone they went on a date with, and you feel like you've been punched in the stomach, but you smile and say that's great. They treat you like a friend, and you're dying inside, because you want to be so much more. And then you go home, and you collapse, and you cry, and you wonder why you keep doing this to yourself. Real talk, are you currently trying to be friends with your ex while you're still heartbroken? Don't lie, not to me, and definitely not to yourself. Comment yes if you're in the friendship trap right now. Comment was if you used to be, but finally broke free. Comment eat if they keep reaching out and you're considering it. I want to see how many of us are in this boat together. And look, I know what some of you are thinking, but Claire, it's different for me. We really are just friends now. I don't have feelings anymore. It doesn't hurt. Okay, let me ask you something. If they called you right now and said they wanted to get back together, would you say yes? If you saw them on a date with someone new, would your stomach drop? If they stopped texting you, would you miss it? If the answer to any of those is yes, you're not over them, and that's okay. But let's stop calling it friendship when it's really just proximity to someone you're not ready to let go of. So the real question isn't can you be friends with your ex? The real question is, can you be friends with your ex while prioritizing your own healing? Or are you sacrificing your peace to maintain a connection that's keeping you stuck? Because here's what I've observed as a heartbreak coach. It's almost always better to table the friendship until both parties have peacefully moved on. Whether that takes months or years, this doesn't mean things need to be hostile. If you work together or co-parent, you can absolutely implement boundaries while keeping communication courteous, transactional, and limited to the purpose of why you must stay connected. But a real friendship, the kind where you text about random stuff, grab coffee, follow each other on social media, not until you're actually healed. Now I know you have objections. I know you have reasons why your situation is different. So let's go through them one by one, starting with the most common excuse I hear. Excuse number 1. I'm not mad at them. They're a good person. Let me tell you how this conversation usually goes with my clients. They'll say, Claire, I know you usually recommend no contact, but my situation is different. My ex is actually a really good person. They didn't cheat. They didn't lie. They just fell out of love or realized we wanted different things. And I'm not even mad about it. So why should I cut them out? And I get it. I really do. It is harder when there's no villain in your story, when they didn't do anything malicious, when the breakup was mature and mutual even though you secretly wish you could have fought for it more, when everyone including you can see that they're fundamentally a decent human being. Of course you'll miss them. Of course cutting them out feels unnecessarily harsh. But here's what I need you to understand. Just because the relationship didn't end badly, doesn't mean you should still be friends. In fact, sometimes it's harder to create distance when there's no clear villain, because you can't be angry. You can't hate them. You can't make them the bad guy to justify protecting yourself. So instead you stay connected. You tell yourself it's fine. You convince yourself that staying friends is the mature thing to do. But answer this honestly. Is it more important to stay friends with someone who doesn't want the same thing you do? Or is it more important to actually heal and move on? Because you can't do both. Not really. I know it seems harder to cut them out. I'm not going to lie. It will be harder for a while. You'll miss them. You'll want to text them. You'll see something that reminds you of them and instinctively reach for your phone. But here's what I promise you. Removing them from your life will absolutely expedite your healing process. Think of it like a wound. If you keep picking at it, checking on it, touching it, it never fully heals. But if you leave it alone, cover it, protect it, it heals so much faster. Your heart is the same way. Quick check-in. What time is it where you are right now? Because I'm writing this in the morning. But I know some of you are reading this at 2 a.m. in a spiral. Comment your current time plus whether you're thinking about texting your ex right now. Example, 2:47 a.m. Yes, I want to text him. Or 3:15 p.m. Trying not to check his Instagram. Let's normalize that heartbreak. Doesn't follow business hours. Okay. Excuse number 2. And this one makes me want to give you a hug and a reality check at the same time. Excuse number 2. If I show them how great I am as a friend, they'll come back around. Oh honey, I say this with so much love. This isn't friendship. This is audition. And you shouldn't have to audition for someone who already decided you're not what they want. This is where I have to confront my clients about their pride and their dignity. Even if your ex was a good person, even if the breakup was amicable, even if there's potential for reconciliation someday, ask yourself this. Do you want to spend your precious energy fighting for someone who's moved on and still wants to be friends? Or do you want to choose you first and say thanks? But no thanks to a friendship that feels like a sucker punch every time you're reminded that you're just friends and nothing more. Because let's be real about what this friendships actually looks like. You're being the cool girl, the chill ex. Then I am totally fine. Person who laughs at their jokes and asks about their life and pretends it doesn't hurt when they mention going on dates. You're hoping that if you're fun enough, supportive enough, drama-free enough, they'll see what they're missing. You're performing, and it's exhausting. Here's the truth bomb. If someone wants to be with you, they will be, period. They won't need months of friendship to figure it out. They won't need to see you at your best to realize your worth. They won't need you to prove anything. And if they do need all of that, they're not ready for you. They don't deserve you. And frankly, you deserve someone who's sure about you from the jump, not someone who needs convincing. I know that's harsh. I know you want to believe that staying close will change their mind. But I've seen this play out hundreds of times. And you know what usually happens. You exhaust yourself trying to be the perfect friend. You watch them date other people. You give and give and give. And they take and take and take. And then one day they tell you they're in a serious relationship with someone else. Or they move away. Or they just drift. And you realize you spent months, maybe years, auditioning for a role they already cast someone else in. So I'm going to ask you a hard question. Where is your dignity in this? I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean it as a genuine question for you to sit with. Are you willing to settle for crumbs, breadcrumb texts, occasional hangouts, leftover affection, just to keep them in your life? Or do you want the full meal, the real thing? Someone who chooses you fully, not someone who keeps you as a backup option disguised as a friend, because you can't have both. Either you're available, emotionally, mentally, energetically, for them to come back to, or you're creating space for something new, something better, someone who's absolutely sure about you. But I know what you're thinking, Claire. You don't understand. If I cut them off, they'll think I'm bitter. They'll think I'm not over it. They'll think I care too much. And that brings me to excuse number 3, which might be the one that hits closest to home. Excuse number 3. I don't want them to think I care. Oof. This one hits close to home for me, because I've been there, and I see this with clients constantly. You want to seem unbothered. Cool. Totally fine. So you stay friends because cutting them off would reveal that you're not fine, that you do care, that it does hurt. And for some reason, showing that feels like losing. Here's the paradox. You're willing to torture yourself with a painful friendship to protect your pride. You're willing to watch them move on, hear about their new life, and pretend it doesn't gut you so they don't know you're hurting. You're willing to sacrifice your actual healing for the performance of being healed. Does that make sense when I say it out loud? Because it shouldn't. But I get it. God, I get it. Nobody wants to be the one who's still hung up. Nobody wants to be that ex who can't let go. Nobody wants to give them the satisfaction of knowing they still have power over you. So you stay friends. You stay in their orbit. You act like everything is fine. And meanwhile, you're dying inside. But seriously, who cares if they know you care? I'm serious. Who cares? The bottom line is this. If you're in each other's orbit and you want more, you're perpetuating your heartbreak by worrying about what they think more than what you think. Your pride is keeping you in pain. And I need you to hear this. There is zero shame in your pain. Zero. You loved someone. They broke up with you. You're hurting. That's not weakness. That's being human. You know what's actually strong? What's actually dignified? Saying, hey, I don't think it's healthy or wise for me to be connected to you right now. Or, I need to heal, so until then, please don't contact me. That's not petty. That's not bitter. That's self-respect. I need to know something. Have you ever stayed in touch with an ex just to seem unbothered, even though it was killing you inside? Be honest. This is a safe space. Comment guilty if you've done this. Comment doing it now if you're currently in this situation. Comment never again if you learned this lesson the hard way. Let's be real about how pride keeps us stuck. And look, I know you're worried about how they'll react if you cut contact. What if they think I'm bitter? What if they tell our mutual friends I'm being dramatic? What if they think I'm not over them? First of all, you're not over them. That's okay. Stop pretending you are. Second, if they judge you or disrespect your request for space, that says way more about them than you. A genuinely good person, the one you keep saying they are, will respect your boundary. They'll understand that you need space to heal. They won't make it about themselves. And if they do react badly, if they guilt you, or trash talk you to mutual friends, or call you immature, then congratulations, you just got confirmation that they're not actually the amazing person you thought they were. And cutting them off was absolutely the right call. Here's what happens when you stop pretending. You get your power back. Not the fake power of seeming unbothered, the real power of honoring your truth. You stop performing. You stop editing yourself. You stop living for their perception of you. And you know what's wild? The second you stop caring what they think is often the second you start actually healing. Because you're no longer directing all your energy toward them. You're directing it toward yourself, where it should have been all along. But okay, maybe you're convinced. Maybe you know you need space. But then you think about the logistics, the reality, the complications. Like, what about your mutual friends? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Excuse number 4. But we share the same friends. This is the one where clients really push back, because it feels like a legitimate obstacle, not just an emotional excuse. And I'll admit, yeah, it is tough. Navigating friend groups after a breakup sucks. No way around it. But you know what? It's not a reason to maintain a friendship with someone who broke your heart, period. Here's how this conversation goes. Client: but Claire, all my friends are his friends too. If I cut him off, I'll lose the whole group. Me: so you're willing to extend your heartbreak indefinitely to keep a friend group. Client: I don't have a choice. There's a birthday party next weekend, and he's going to be there. What am I supposed to do? Skip it. Me: yes, skip it. Client: but it's my best friend's 30th. Me: skip it. I really don't care if it's your best friend's 30th. Seriously. A true friend will understand that mending your heart comes first, and the quickest way to mend it, not being around an ex you're not over yet. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's not fair. Why do they get to attend and I have to skip? And you're right. It's not fair. But here's the thing. You don't have to skip. You're choosing to skip. And you're choosing it because healing your heart matters more than pleasing friends. Maintaining appearances, proving you're fine. Making sure you don't lose the social competition. You're choosing it because showing up and pretending to have a good time, while your ex, who you're not over, is right there across the room. That's not worth it. That's self-sabotage disguised as showing up for friends. So here are your actual options. Option 1. Find new friends. I know that sounds dramatic, but if your entire friend group is centered around your ex and you can't be around them without pain, you might need to branch out. Join a class. Download Bumble BFF. Reconnect with old friends. Build a support system that's yours. Option 2. Hang out with mutual friends separately from your ex. Hey, I'd love to grab coffee with you one-on-one, but I'm not ready to do group things where ex will be. Can we do something just us? Real friends will say yes. Option 3. Take a temporary break from the friend group. I'm taking some time to focus on myself and heal. I'll be back when I'm ready, but right now I need space. Again, real friends will understand. Option 4. Go to the event, but set boundaries. If you absolutely must attend something like a wedding where you're in the bridal party, go with an exit strategy. Bring a buffer friend. Limit alcohol. Leave early. Don't engage beyond polite greetings. But honestly, options 1-3 are better. Let's talk logistics. Have you ever skipped an event to avoid your ex, or did you go and regret it? Comment skipped a plus what you did instead, or went plus how it went, or considering plus what event you're debating. I want to hear real stories about how this played out for you. Here's the hard truth about friend groups after a breakup. If they're really your friends, you won't lose them. But some of them, they were actually your ex's friends, who tolerated you, or couple friends who don't know how to navigate the split, or people who just want to avoid drama. And those people, you're going to lose them regardless. So you might as well prioritize your healing and see who sticks around. The ones who do, those are your real friends. The ones who expect you to be fine immediately, who pressure you to just get over it, who make you accommodate them and your ex, those aren't your people. Let them go. And this comes back to dignity again. Are you willing to make yourself small, skipping events, avoiding places, editing your social life so you don't make things awkward? Or are you willing to say, I'm healing, I'm prioritizing myself, and if that's uncomfortable for you, that's okay, but it's what I need right now. Because the second option, that's self-respect. And honestly, if your friends can't handle it, they were never really your friends. Okay, so we've covered pride, hope, and social logistics. But there's one more excuse I hear constantly. And this one is the toughest to argue against. Because it sounds so noble, so selfless, so compassionate. But it's keeping you just as stuck as all the others. Excuse number 5. They're going through a hard time personally, financially, emotionally. They need me. This is the one that breaks my heart, because it reveals just how deeply you've been conditioned to prioritize their needs over your own, even after they broke your heart. Here's how this shows up. Claire, I know you're saying I should go no contact, but my ex just lost their job. I can't abandon them now. My ex's parent is sick. They're really struggling. They need support. My ex is going through a mental health crisis. I'm the only one who really understands them. My ex is having a hard time financially. I've been helping them with rent until they get back on their feet. And every time I ask the same question, aren't you going through a hard time? Aren't you heartbroken? Because here's what I see. You're so focused on their pain that you're completely dismissing your own. You're so committed to being there for them that you're abandoning yourself. You're so worried about their well-being that you're sacrificing your own healing. And I need you to hear this. That's not love. That's not compassion. That's self-abandonment. And it's a pattern. Am I right? I bet this isn't the first time you've put someone else's needs before your own. I bet you've done this in multiple relationships, maybe even friendships and family dynamics. You're the giver, the caretaker, the one who shows up, no matter what. And I'm not saying those are bad qualities. They're beautiful actually, but not when they're being exploited, not when they're keeping you in pain. So let me ask you some hard questions. Don't you want to be in a relationship where when times get really tough, your partner turns towards you and not away? Think about that. They're going through something hard, but instead of leaning on you as a partner, instead of letting that crisis bring you closer, they broke up with you. They ended the romantic relationship, but they still want your support. Read that again. If the excuse to stay friends is because they need you, then why did they end the romantic part of the relationship? I'll tell you why. Because they want the benefits of having you, emotional support, practical help, companionship, without the responsibility of being your partner. That reads as, I don't want to give you what you want, but I'd still like for you to give me what I want. And I ask again, where is your dignity? Where is your self-love? This is the big one. Are you currently supporting your ex through something difficult while you're still heartbroken? Comment yes is plus what you're helping them with. Comment D plus how long you did this before you stopped. Comment considering plus what they're asking for help with, no judgment. But I want you to see these patterns clearly. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying you should become a cold, heartless person who doesn't care when people are struggling. But there's a difference between compassion and self-sacrifice. There's a difference between being supportive and being used. And here's the key. You can care about their well-being and prioritize your own healing. Both can be true. But right now, in your current state, heartbroken, not over them, secretly hoping they'll come back, you cannot be both their support system and your own. You have to choose. And I need you to choose you. But what about them? Who will help them? Here's the thing. They have other people, or they can find other people, or they can learn to support themselves. They have family, friends, therapists, support groups, hotlines, colleagues, other exes who are actually over them, new romantic interests, professional resources. Your ex is an adult. They will figure it out. And if they can't, if they genuinely have no one else, that's still not your responsibility. Especially not at the expense of your own well-being. Because here's what I know. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And right now, your cup is empty. It's been empty since the breakup. Every time you show up for them, you're giving from a deficit, and you're not refilling. That's not sustainable. That's not healthy. That's not love. That's codependency. And I'm going to say something that might make you uncomfortable. Sometimes people use crisis to keep you connected, not always consciously, but it happens. They know you have a good heart. They know you can't turn away when someone's struggling. They know you'll prioritize their needs over your own, so they keep you close under the guise of I really need you right now, and you stay, because leaving feels cruel. But here's what's actually cruel. Them expecting you to be their emotional support system while simultaneously breaking your heart, them benefiting from your care, while giving you nothing in return, them keeping you in their life when they know you want more. That's cruel. Your boundary, that's self-preservation. So I'm giving you permission if you need it. You are allowed to step back, even when they're struggling, even when it feels mean, even when they guilt you. You're allowed to say I care about you, but I can't be your support person right now. I need to focus on my own healing. Or even simpler, I can't do this anymore. I need space. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them continued access to you. You don't owe them anything except basic human decency. And sometimes basic human decency means being honest. I'm not capable of being there for you as a friend right now without hurting myself, and I won't do that anymore. So we've covered all 5 excuses, and I know this is hard to hear, but there's a reason I'm being this direct, because on the other side of cutting contact, there's actual healing, real peace, genuine freedom, and I want that for you more than I want you to be comfortable right now. Okay, so if you've made it this far, you're probably thinking one of 2 things. Either, damn, Claire called me out, I need to cut contact, or this is too hard, I can't do it. If you're in the second camp, I get it. So let me tell you what actual healing looks like, and why removing your ex from your life, at least temporarily, is the first step of my healing heartbreak process. Here's what I promise you. Removing the person associated with the pain is the first step on a path toward lightness. You'll stop carrying the weight of pretending you're fine. Empowerment. You'll remember you can choose yourself. Clarity. You'll see the relationship for what it actually was, not what you wanted it to be. Closure, not from them, but from yourself. Better love, because the way you show up for yourself now determines what you'll accept later. But you can't get there while they're still in your daily life. You can't heal a wound you keep reopening. Now, let me be real about what no contact actually looks like. Week 1. Absolute hell. You'll want to text them constantly. You'll check their social media obsessively. You'll question if you made the right decision. Week 2. 4. Still really hard, but you'll notice small moments of relief, moments where you didn't think about them for an hour, or a morning where you woke up and they weren't your first thought. Month 2. 3. It gets easier. Not easy, but easier. You'll still have bad days, but the good days outnumber them now. Month 4. 6. You'll start to feel like yourself again. Not the person you were before them, a different version. Stronger. More boundaried. More sure of what you need. Month 6. Plus. You might be ready for actual friendship, or you might realize you don't want them in your life at all. Both are valid. But here's the thing. You can't skip to month 6. You have to go through it. Okay, let's get real about where you are right now. Comment one of these. Contact. Still talking to my ex regularly. Limited me. Trying to minimize contact, but not fully. No contact. No contact. Plus. How many days / weeks / months broke at me, healed me, went no contact, now genuinely over them. And add your location weather like we did before. Let's see the global journey. Example, no contact. Day 45, rainy in Portland. Still think about him, but getting better. Drop it below. Now, I mentioned earlier that if you co-parent or work together, obviously complete no contact isn't realistic, but you can still implement boundaries. Communication stays courteous, not cold, but not warm. Transactional, about kids, work only, limited only when necessary. What this looks like: text, email only, no calls unless emergency, no personal questions or updates, no social media following, no showing up to non-mandatory events. Responses are brief and factual. What you don't do: ask about their personal life. Share about yours. Respond to breadcrumb texts. Engage in reminiscing. Try to be friends. Your co-parents, your colleagues. You're not friends yet, and that's okay. But here's what this all really comes down to. Do you love yourself enough to choose your own healing over their comfort? Because that's what this is really about. Not whether you can be friends with your ex. Of course you technically can, but should you be friends with your ex while you're still heartbroken? And the answer is no. Not because you're weak, not because you're petty, not because you don't care about them, but because you care about yourself more. And that's not selfish. That's survival. That's the first act of self-love after someone breaks your heart, saying, I will not keep hurting myself to keep you comfortable. Remember earlier when I kept asking, where is your dignity? Here's where it is. Your dignity is in the boundary. Your dignity is in saying, I deserve better than breadcrumbs. I'm worth more than a fake friendship. I won't perform healing for your benefit. I choose me. That's dignity. Not staying friends to prove you're mature. Not staying connected to seem unbothered. not sacrificing yourself to maintain peace. Real dignity is knowing your worth and protecting it fiercely. And here's the beautiful part. The way you step up for yourself now, not for them, but for you, sets the standard for every relationship that comes after. When you show yourself that you won't accept anything less than whole, full, committed love, that's what you'll start attracting. When you prove to yourself that you can walk away from something that hurts, no matter how much you love them, that's power. The love that comes after this will be up-leveled, not because the next person is better, though they might be, but because you are better at recognizing what you deserve and not settling for less. So I'm going to give you permission one more time. You are allowed to cut contact with your ex, even if they're a good person, even if you're not mad, even if they need you, even if you share friends, even if it seems dramatic. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to prioritize your healing. You are allowed to say, I can't do this anymore. And anyone who judges you for that, they've never had their heart broken like this, or they've never loved themselves enough to do something about it. Either way, their opinion doesn't matter. Your healing does. So let's come back to where we started. Can you be friends with your ex? Yes. Eventually, maybe. But can you be friends with your ex while you're still in love with them? Still hoping they'll come back? Still hurting every time you see their name? No, and you shouldn't try. Because that's not friendship, that's self-torture with a polite label, and you deserve so much better than that. So here's what I want you to do. If you're currently in the friendship trap, texting your ex, seeing them at events, pretending you're fine, I want you to seriously consider going no contact, at least for now. At least until you can genuinely be around them without your stomach dropping. It doesn't have to be forever, but it needs to be for long enough that you can actually heal. And if that feels impossible, ask yourself why. What are you more afraid of? Losing them permanently, or finding out you can be happy without them? Because I think it might be the second one. We stay connected because disconnecting means facing the reality that it's really over, and that's terrifying. But it's also where your freedom lives. Last thing, what's the one thing keeping you from cutting contact? Be specific. Be honest. Is it fear of seeming bitter? Hope they'll come back? Shared friends? Guilt about their struggles? Not wanting to waste the relationship? Fear of being alone? Something else? Comment below. Let's identify the real obstacle, because I guarantee you're not the only one dealing with it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to this tough love. I know this isn't what you wanted to hear, but it's what you needed to hear. And I'm saying all of this because I've been where you are. Multiple gut-wrenching heartbreaks taught me this lesson, and I've coached hundreds of women through it, and every single one who finally cut contact, they tell me the same thing. I should have done this months ago. I can finally breathe. That breath, that relief, that peace, it's waiting for you on the other side of the boundary. You just have to be brave enough to choose yourself first. If this video helped, share it with someone who's stuck in the friendship trap. You might save them months of unnecessary pain. And if you want more content on setting boundaries, healing from heartbreak, and learning to choose yourself, subscribe and hit the bell, because we're building a community of women who refuse to settle for breadcrumbs when we deserve the whole damn loaf. I'll see you in the next one. And hey, you've got this. Even when it doesn't feel like it. You've absolutely got this. Choose you. Always choose you.